Hey guys, for my video presentation, I'm doing it on a study of the acoustic structure and information content of female koala vocal signals. Now this study was done by a British professor named Benjamin D. Charlton. Now disclaimer, before we start, this was done with live animals, but no animals were hurt during the process of the study. Now on to the introduction. So Charlton had two objectives that he wanted to answer by the end of the study. And the first is, I quote, to objectively classify vocalizations into different call types based solely on their acoustic structure and provide a detailed acoustic description of female koala vocal signals using a source filter theory approach. That's a mouthful. End quote. Secondly, to determine the information content of female koala vocalizations. Those are the two goals that he had in mind. And in order to continue, I didn't know what those meant, so I had to look them up. Information content is the amount of information conveyed by a particular unit of language in a particular context. So essentially it's the meaning behind the message, so what you say, what you mean, not what you say, or what you growl in this case, since we're talking about koalas. And then secondly, but more importantly, we have the source filter theory approach. And this theory is the theory that all organisms with vocal cords can control the way that they sound. And then we as humans can do this by adjusting our pitch or the volume in which we speak. We can either speak really high, which we do when we're happy, or we can speak really low, which we do when we're typically sad. And Charlton applies these theories to the koalas, and in doing so, he's able to link their mammalian vocal signals to their production mechanisms. It essentially means what they say versus what they mean. And this includes the mating calls, it includes the signals to ward off predators or potential invaders, because koalas are very territorial, and it also allows nearby koalas to know the age, the sex, and the hormonal state of the koalas. It's really quite intriguing. And then before the study, there was a disproportionate amount of male information, but not very much information was known about female koalas, except that they made similar noises to males, but they also had their own unique vocal call, which was a rejection call. And it's essentially koala friend zoning, where female koalas are able to pick their mates rather than males picking the females. And to collect this data, Charlton went to Brisbane, Australia, to a koala sanctuary called Lone Pines. There he measured 20 males in the breeding season of 2010, aged 3 to 15. Later he measured 23 females in 2011, aged 2 to 14. These females averaged just under 6 years old. I believe the number was 5.88. All the koalas were individually recognizable, and they're of a known age. That way they could be easily referenced back to at any given point. And to record the vocal signals, Charlton used a German recorder and microphone called a Sennheiser ME67. With that, everything recorded, he compared the frequency and the amplitude of the vocal signals together, then between the male and female vocal signals. As you can see here, these are the 6 results that came out from the study. At the very top left, we have the bellows. Going right, we have the snarls, and then the squeaks. Going back down, at the left, we have the wails, the squawks, and the screams. These were the 6 results that came out of the study. The bellows, was the most common, followed by snarl. And here we have the 3 most common. We have the bellows, the rejection calls, and the snarls. Bellows, again, being the most common, had the longest average duration of nearly 71 seconds. That's well over a minute. That's an intensely long amount of time to be making noise. Actually, I'm going to show you what they look like in just a second, or they sound like, excuse me. And then we have the tonal rejection calls, which again is exclusively female. They don't last very long. And then we have the snarls, which don't last quite long at all, but they are the 2nd most common. Here we have a koala making noise. I think that's wild. Alright, Now on to the discussion. The higher pitched noises were the females in the background. I thought it was actually a baby crying, but it was the females. Anyways, when comparing the bellows, they were the most common signal. The male bellow was much larger and of a lower frequency than the females. The snarl was the second most common signal, and it was statistically equal between the male and the female, and as expected, only females produced the rejection calls. This study was more extensive than any done before it. This study revealed that vocal signals contain information about the given caller's phenotypes. So when a koala were to make noise, other koalas would be able to tell what gender it was, how old it was, whether it was ready to mate. It was really quite impressive. It also discovered many overlapping results between the signals, which were once thought as well defined. And that's it. Thank you for watching.